Hi everyone, this is Ashley with Marsh Flower Studio. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my little pocket fox. So this is one of the requests that I've had. They love the little pocket monster, but they love foxes as well. So they asked if I had a fox version of this little monster kind of pattern. And so I kind of created one. The basics of it are the same as the pocket monster, but there are a few little extra add-ons. And we're going to do the ears a little bit differently. So we're going to get started. And I've got my number 4 worsted weight yarns. I've got cloud. Let's see, what color was this one? Pumpkin. And then I've got my black. And I've got some safety eyes to put on when we get to that point. So, I'm going to slide this out of the way for just a second. I'm going to start with my black because we're starting with the bottoms of the feet, okay? So foxes typically have black on their, or they have little black socks, you know, on their paws. So we're going to have 6 single crochets in our magic circle. 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll pull our circle tight. In our next row, we're going to have 6 increases. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12. All right, I'm going to make sure that the bottom of this foot, this magic circle, is pulled as tight as I can get it. And then we're going to switch colors. So that's all we're going to do for that black sock on the fox. And when I switch colors, I do a little slip stitch in the color that I'm currently in, and then I'll do a slip stitch with the new color, and then we'll cut this working strand of this black off. And I always just tie a little square knot here to kind of make sure that these stay nice and tight. Okay. So then we're going to have 3 rows of single crochet, and it's 12 stitches per row, or you can just count to 36, whichever way is more comfortable for you. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. Okay? So, since this is our first leg, I'm going to do my little chain 1 there, and then cut this off, pull that through, And this is our first leg. So we're going to do another one just like that, really quick. I would rather you guys kind of pause the video versus having to just sit and wait for me to do stuff, you know. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 6 increases. 1 and 2. 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12. All right, then I'm going to do my color change. And I am not sick. I have the best kind of allergies. They're year-round because I'm allergic to pine trees. And if you know anything about coastal Georgia, pine trees are everywhere. So, I do take allergy medicine, but it can only do so much. All right. So 36. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. Okay. So at this point, we have both of our little legs, and we're going to join them together. So with our second leg here, we are going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to jump right back into this first leg that we made. So our last single crochet was here, so we're going to jump into this next stitch right next to it, and we'll do single crochet all the way around. And if you were keeping up with counting, that's 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and whoops. That was 12. All right, and I'm going to work 5 down my chain here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, And I'm going to jump back into this second leg. So my last stitch making my leg is here, so I'm going to go right next to it. I'll do 12 around this leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then we gotta do 5 more back across the other side of this chain. And these can be a little more tricky to see. So if you've ever tried to work both sides of a chain, you know what I'm talking about. So just make sure that you get all 5 across there. And there's a tricky stitch down here. So let me zoom in just a little bit here. So I've got my last single crochet on my chain here, but my first single crochet on the leg is here. So make sure you don't forget this stitch, because it can kind of get lost when you're doing your single crochets on that chain. So make sure that you get this first single crochet back on this leg. Okay, it's not the end of the world if you skip it or miss it, but it will kind of change your final count if you're one of those that tries to make sure you keep a really good count on everything. So make sure you do not forget that one in there. All right. So from this point, our little legs are connected, and you are going to do 15 rows of single crochet. Okay, so we're going to go from this to this. So I'm going to set that one aside, and you might want to pause for a few minutes until you get all 15 rows of single crochet done. I didn't want to draw this video out forever and ever and ever with you guys just watching me do more single crochet stitches. So I went ahead and got this one ready, and I'm actually going to put a little bit of stuffing down in his little legs. I've got my handy stuffing stick here, and remember, we want to get enough in there that it's going to hold its shape, but not so much that we start to see stuffing, you know, through the holes in between our stitches. I'll put a little bit more in here. And we're going to decide where we want our eyes to go. So let me pull out my eyes. I'm thinking, oh, those seem a little small. That's better. All right. So this is going to be the top of his head. His little ears are going to be right here. So I want to come down a couple of rows. See, 1, 2. So this is going between rows 3 and 4. Yep. And then we'll pop our backings on. There we go. These are a little tighter. Go. All right. So for our ears, it's pretty similar to the way we did the ears for the monster. But we're going to start with, so I finished my single crochet rows with a slip stitch. So I'm going to do a slip stitch through both layers, front and back. So there's a little slip stitch. And then in the same stitch, so front and back here, I'm going to put a double, and then a treble, and then we're going to do a chain 2, and then a slip stitch in that second chain from the hook. I got caught up on something here. Okay. And then we're going to do another double, and this is all going in that same spot together. Once you've got the double finished, in the next stitch over, we're going to do a half double. Remember, going through the front and the back. And then we're going to do a slip stitch in that next stitch. So it gives you this little bit of a pointed ear going on up here. All right. So now we are going to slip stitch our way, oops, the rest of the way across. And you want to have 3 stitches you can work into once you get to the other side. So this is where, if you miss that leg stitch down here, it's not the end of the world. Before I do this other ear, I am going to put a little bit more stuffing down in here. And this other ear is kind of a mirror image of the first. So if you do it exactly like the first one, if you can tell, the outside of this ear curves a little bit, where the inside is a lot more straight. So if you do it exactly like this one, it'll look exactly the same. But if you do it mirror image, you'll end up with straight on the inside and then curve on the outside, which is what we want. But I will tell you those directions in just a second. All right. So our mirror of this is going to be a half double in the next stitch. Okay. And then we're going to do a double in the next. And all these with the double are going in the same spot. So now we're going to do our chain 2 off that double and our slip stitch back into that second chain from the hook. And then we are going to do our treble, still in that same stitch all together. And then we're going to do a double. And then in this very last stitch on the end, we are going to do another slip stitch. Okay, so then we will cut that yarn off. See, I've got ears that both kind of curve in. And then we will weave in these ends or tie them off however you prefer in a minute. The arms for this little guy are super simple. So we're doing 2 rows in the black, and it's 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we do 6 single crochets for the second row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to switch to our orange. So I'm going to do my little slip stitch here. Let's cut that and retie it later. And do a slip stitch to add our new color. Tie our little knot here. And then you have 3 rows of orange, or you can just count to 18. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. All right. I'm going to make sure the middle of my magic ring here is nice and tight. And then I'm just going to tuck these strings, these little yarn tails, down inside his arm. If they will all fit. And if I cut that off, it'd probably help. All right. So to make this a little easier on myself, I'm going to do just 2 little single crochets to kind of close in the top of this arm. And then my little chain finish off. And I've already got 1. So then these guys will just get sewn right to his sides like this. Boop. So you've got legs, body, ears, arms. I'm going to show you how to do a little snout. And for this I use that cloud color. because while they have a black nose, they usually have some white around their nose. So our little fox muzzle, we're going to start with 6 single crochets in a magic circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to do an increase and a single crochet so that we end up with 9 at the end of this row. So 1 and 2, and then 3, 4 and 5, and then 6, 7 and 8, and then 9. And then we're going to do just a row of 9 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Whoops. Alright, so I'll make sure we're right side out here. We'll do a little slip stitch, kind of fasten that off. Little muzzle. So this will get sewn right here between the eyes, and then I will sew just a tiny little black nose onto the tip of this, and I will sew all the pieces together at the very end. So if that's not something you need to watch, you can just move on. So the last piece that I've kind of got here to make is a little tail, and you can do with or without the tail, up to you. So I started with the cloud color, my cloud white here, and you're gonna have 6 single crochets in a magic circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the same increase and single crochet so that you get to 9 stitches. So 1 and 2, and then 3, 4 and 5, and then 6, 7 and 8, and then 9. Okay. So now we're going to switch to our pumpkin orange. So I'm going to do my little slip stitch with my white. I'm going to do my slip stitch with my orange. Cut our white off over here. We'll tie a quick little square knot. There we go. We're going to do 2 rows of single crochet, or 18 single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right. So now we're going to do a decrease and 7 single crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then another decrease. And then 6 single crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to do another decrease. And 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to stuff these yarn tails down inside, and that kind of will act as the stuffing for this tail, so it'll help it keep its shape without having to actually use regular stuffing. Okay. I'm going to do one more row of 6 single crochets, and then we will fasten off. All right, so I'm going to do a little slip stitch here, and then I'm going to do 2 single crochets kind of through both sides here. My little chain one, cut that off and pull it through. So I've got this cute little white tipped foxtail. And at this point, all that's left is to put it together. Okay, so give the little pocket fox a thumbs up if you think he's cute. If you enjoyed the pattern, if it was easy enough to follow. Subscribe if you haven't already. I really enjoy seeing how many people still like to crochet that are out there. I've had quite a few people that I meet in person, and they see me and they're like, wait, you crochet? I didn't think anybody did that anymore, right? So I love seeing how many people still are out there that love to crochet. If there's anything you would like to see me make, pop it in the comments and I'll work on it, just like this little guy was a request. If you jump over to my website, I sell a lot of things that I make, and I also have a gallery page on my site with all kinds of things that I have made in the past. So if you want to see me remake any of those in a video, just let me know. And I've got a couple other links in the description of some things that I do, so check those out as well. They're really cool. And thanks for watching. Happy hooking, crochet nerds. Bye.